Hi, Wes Scott from Lifeback Law Firm, and today we're going to talk about a closer look at the required bankruptcy credit counseling courses. As part of BAP-CRAPA, we call it BAP-CRAPA, the laws that changed bankruptcy under President Bush in 2005, Congress, mainly one party, decided it was a great idea to give their donors, the rich banks, some gifts. And one of the gifts they gave their donors is these roadblocks to getting a bankruptcy discharge. Now you have to go through, whereas before you didn't, a credit counseling course. You talk about condescending, right? You tell that to somebody whose business failed. You tell this to somebody whose daughter has brain cancer. You tell this to somebody who went through a really ugly divorce through no fault of their own. This is really condescending stuff, but you have to go through it. Why? Well, it's a bit of a roadblock. Let's say the donors get to collect from you one or two more times. Well worth the bill, wasn't it? Or let's say now that you filed the bankruptcy, you got to do a second course, which you do. And it's a debt management class. Condescending, right? And again, this is another hurdle that's put in place before you can get a discharge. You don't do that course, you don't get a discharge. Your case is closed without a discharge. And we have many people, unfortunately, this happens to. So again, this hurdle to getting a bankruptcy discharge. I mean, it's bad enough to be poor and suffering, but let's throw some roadblocks in your way. Now look, is there a nugget or two sometimes that people tell me, hey, I actually got a nugget or two out of that? Okay, fine. That's great. But you didn't have to come from this course. You could have read it in a book. You could have read it in a magazine. You could have done some research about it, whatever. I mean, you don't need to spoon feed people this. And I find it very distasteful. Anytime you shame anybody, I think it's distasteful. And I think that's what this is, along with creating this roadblock to filing. These are courses, and I say this loosely. Most of the time people do them online. Most of the time people don't find them very useful. Most of the time people find them actually quite condescending. I can't even imagine what it's like for this counselor on the other side going through the same motion, certificate after certificate, saying the same condescending things. You know where I'm at with this. I don't like it. I think it's part of BAP-CRAPA. That's shameful. And there you have it. But you're required to do it. If you don't do it, you can't file a bankruptcy. It's not that you can't file a bankruptcy. It's that the bankruptcy will be dismissed because you did not do the prerequisite. When the time is right, when you're ready to get your life back, reach out to Lifeback Law Firm. You're going to be so thankful you did.